5? I think so. Look at this mess. Look at that palette. That's one messy palette. I gotta clean it up though, so I want to show you how I do this. Giving you a little sneak peek, because I'm going to be doing some classes very soon now, some actual classes. So I'm going to show you how I clean this thing up. Here we go. Check it out. Normally I would use this paint because I don't really care much about what type of paint or whatever. This is some Axis paint. I usually almost always use this paint, as a matter of fact. I don't really get rid of paint that much. But check it out, I got a boo-boo. Got a boo-boo and stuff. So that's how I do it anyways. Man. You know what? I need a globe. One of those awesome globes. For my hand and wow. There we go. Bam. Yeah. Now, bear in mind that I like to use walnut oil, so that really makes the difference when it comes to cleaning too. It doesn't dry like some of the other gum mediums, okay? Look at that. And this is glass, of course, right? It has to be, because otherwise it makes it even a nightmare to clean. Now, if you're a neat freak, someone who loves to, like, that's me when it comes to my palette. I clean this palette just about, I don't know, every day. I clean it, but at least once, twice a day, depending on how much, sometimes 5 times a day, depending on how much I paint. Some days I just paint all day, and I have to constantly be cleaning this palette. It's a must. I think that the workspace that is clean makes a good workspace. Someone asked me if I got like some serious thing right here in my hand, but I really didn't. I think I slept wrong. Something. I don't know, some weird stuff. Check it out. This is walnut oil. Okay. Go big or go home. Walnut oil is more expensive than other oils, but I like to use it. It's typically more expensive. And right now I'm gonna mix some white. This is soft mixing white from Winsor & Newton. They're Winton. Some people say that it's student grade, but I think a lot of people don't have an idea what student grade is. This is good stuff. Ouch! Like this thing really messes with me today. This is a Wrangler. Wrangler. Check it out. See it work. Okay. This is a 200 milliliter thing, and then I just squeeze a little bit the excess right there, and bam, it goes away. Okay. Now here's something that I like to do. This is typically because I like to paint very loose. Okay, I'm going to show you. This is not a trick. Some people think this is a trick. I have no idea why. I think people that are not painters think that's a trick. This is just mixing paint, guys. This is just mixing paint, adding some oil and mixing it. Because when it comes out of the tube, it comes in a very strong impasto form. Some people think that it's the way to use it right out of the tube. It is if you want to do some, if you want it to be hard on your wrist, and if you want it to do, depending on the style. Some people love using the paint right out of the tube. I don't. Look, I soften it. This is not a trick. I don't know how many people told me, "Oh my God, that's your trick." No, man, my trick is that I paint anywhere between 8 and 12 hours a day. That's my trick. This is not a trick. This is just softening the paint. This is what just about every artist does. Well, anyone doing it full time, right? This is just softening the paint. If you were to plant seeds, right, in a garden, wouldn't you soften the dirt? Yes, you have to soften it. Otherwise, you're working with very hard soil. See? So you soften it so that it's manageable, so that it's workable. By the way, you don't need to add oil to soften it. You could just, add some motion in there with a palette and it'll soften. But I like speed, so I add oil. I like a little bit of speed. And that's one of the things that I like to do. It's all about preparation, guys. Now, and I'm not talking about necessarily like preparation before you paint. It's just, how can I say this? One of my mentors had told me, look, dude, early on when I was younger, I have a handful of mentors. Some I don't really stay in contact with. They're too expensive to stay in contact with. But I still stay in contact with through their material, not personal. And some when I was younger, right? Just people that were part of my life when I was younger. And some that I still seek advice today. So anyways, one of my mentors said, look, dude, most of the stuff that you do will be difficult because you're holding yourself back. Okay? Most of the stuff that you do will be difficult because you're holding yourself back. You're the only person holding yourself back. I know it sounds so cliche. I know it sounds like just about every postcard or whatever, Instagram post. Let me direct this now back to the easel, which is where we're going to show you. I'm going to show you the painting. But yeah, most of the stuff is because you've decided, you made a decision to make things difficult. I was like, what do you mean? Some of you want to see the palette, huh? I take it. Because I think that some people are just want to see the palette. They're like, let me see the palette, man. The palette's what I care about. Like if it's so cool to see. It's like super dirty. But there you go. There you have it. So most of the stuff is it's very easy to do. Anything that you're into is very easy to do. What really is difficult is all the mechanics, all the minutia, right? Like, I'll give you an example. You could go travel, right? You're gonna go travel. If you're not an experienced traveler, you're gonna try to bring everything with you, right? You're gonna try to bring everything with you. You're gonna go on a flight. You're gonna go somewhere. You're gonna travel for, I don't know. Let's say you're gonna go 3 days somewhere. If you're not an experienced traveler, you're gonna try to take everything with you. If you're a speaker or one of those extremely experienced travelers, you probably just take a backpack with you. You know, you're good to go with a backpack. You don't even have to take luggage, nothing, just a backpack. I've seen them. I've seen those guys. The type of guys that are they're so fast, right? They're just super fast. They just take a backpack with them. And someone who's not experienced, like me, I'm not an experienced traveler. Or my wife. We try to take everything. Oh, the shoes. Oh, I forgot. Let me see if I can take this shoes or those shoes. And that's because there's no experience in. Maybe you've traveled a lot, but you don't have experience in constantly being traveling, right? That doesn't mean that you don't travel, but you don't you haven't seen the world. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is some people just have tremendous experience with traveling, right? It's the same thing with art. You will try to make it as difficult as possible if you have no experience with it. If you have very little experience, the more experience you have, the less difficult it will become. There is a point where you start letting go of the BS, and you just concentrate on getting it done. Okay? There is that point. There is light at the end of the tunnel, I promise you. But you have to put in the time. And that looks different for everybody, okay? That doesn't mean that you're going to paint like someone else or whatever. It's going to look different for everybody. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to remain into it. And it may seem difficult in the beginning. Everybody's trying to do everything right, but when you start gaining experience, because you do things enough, you start realizing that right doesn't mean perfect. Right means getting the shit done. Getting it done, it doesn't mean perfect. Right never means perfect. Right means getting it done. And getting it done means different things for different people. I don't know. So one of the things that I've learned in painting is not thinking when I'm painting. Right? Not thinking about it. This is a tremendous insight I had. One day I was like, man, what if I'm just painting? What if I'm just thinking too much? And then that day turned into like, I don't know, like 7 years of, no, more like 6 years. It wasn't really 7. Close enough. Of just torturing myself, right? In my own mind. Because I'm thinking too much. I'm thinking too much about the artistic process. I'm not really painting. I'm spending precious time and energy thinking about the painting rather than painting the painting. This is due to lack of experience, first of all, okay? And second is due to extreme thinking, okay? This is where, like all about stuff in the world, I believe comes from extreme thinking. Every time you find yourself in a place where you don't get it, you don't understand what's going on, you're probably just thinking too much about it. There's tremendous amount of freedom and liberty in not thinking. You're not thinking about the next brushstroke. Now, this doesn't mean that it became mechanical and repetitive. That does not mean that. That is an erroneous idea. Some artists do that. They become mechanical and repetitive, and they found the formula, and it's formulaic. Still, whatever suits. I'm not judging, whatever suits, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that you start becoming less interested in thinking about the artwork and more interested in getting it done. Now, the more you think about it, it's like you're just crucifying yourself. Okay, the more you think about it, it's so painful because you're attached to it. I've said this many times. Artwork is a painful thing because you're attached to it. The moment that you disattach yourself from it, you actually become liberated. And there's different ways of being disattached from it. One of it, I just mentioned. The first one is not thinking. The second one is doing it enough. But even if you do it enough, you will still have those moments, maybe years. I don't know. It's quite a thing to go through. Okay? Of not thinking. Something like that for now. Alright guys, my name is Jose Trujillo. I'm the world's greatest living artist because, I don't know, I think the gods intended it that way. the art gods. And there's a little painting right there. A couple of flowers, I don't know. They might be roses. Here, let me do a close-up. Bam! There we go. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I will show you some more stuff later. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care. And, oh, yeah, one more thing. I auction my work on eBay. A lot of the work that I paint here, I auction it on eBay. So if you are interested, go check it out. The link is in my profile. All right. Take care. Hi, Goma. Goodbye. Take care, guys.